Hey, Scorpios, welcome, welcome. I'm doing a bunch of readings today, guys, because I'm swamped tomorrow and I'm not going to be able to do some readings. So I am catching up on all the readings. I am going to do some uploads, though, this weekend. Definitely. I got a bunch of downloads. Might be doing a couple lives from my leather shop. So if the ambiance changes in the background, that's just because I'm trying to work and share with you some downloads that Divine has been giving me. I'm trying to get these videos done, trying to get a bunch of things done. Now, weather has slowed down so a little bit, so I can do that. So I am actually doing the week of the 2nd through the 8th, as you read already on the beginning. I am filming this on the 29th, and just going to let you know, the end of this month, July, if you're watching this before the 2nd, and probably the first week of August, the planets are really moving and changing signs up there, especially the outer planets. So it might be a little bit, what do you call it? Not clear. It'd be sort of foggy a little bit on things. You're like, why can't I just get an answer from somebody? Why is 2 and 2 not adding up to 4? You know, that kind of thing. What is it? Oops. Sorry, I'm not shuffling again. What is it that isn't clear? And that's going to be typical because the planet's moving around along with Saturn and Uranus doing a little bit of a dance up there. Saturn's about stability, structure, that kind of a thing, where Uranus is about individuality and a little bit more doing their own thing kind of a thing. So it's a good balance to have. However, you know, it is a struggle. We even struggle with balance ourselves, right? So just expect that to be a little bit off for the first week. Definitely. Oh, that's an interesting one. I haven't seen this one all for a couple of weeks. So again, this is the first card is the new deck for me, so I'm going to read it. I haven't seen this card yet. I just haven't had time to research the deck. I know the deck, don't get me wrong, just because I know the way that Colette Baron-Reid does her cards, and I love them. I mean, I don't think she makes a bad deck at all. But this is the Oracle of the 7 energies, and that's our chakras, okay? So we have the number 14 for Divine's card, Divine's message to you. Okay, whatever you're having a struggle with, whatever you're trying to deal with, maybe your question, maybe your love question, whatever it is, all right? So this is your question. Beautiful uncaging, okay? So at this time, you're being called to assess where guilt is playing a part in your life. Recognize how it's affecting you and others and address it so that you can release yourself from its grip. Guilt is a powerful emotional state capable of transforming difficult situation. It keeps you accountable for your actions when you've done something that causes harm. However, it can also feed a self-sabotaging cycle. Boy, this is so true, people. This is so true, Scorpios. That fosters codependency and a distorted sense of personal power. Self-blame can lead to behavior that perpetuates low self-worth 1,000,000 times. Trust me. Have you done or said something for which you need to make amends? Oh boy, does Divine have me? He's downloading like no tomorrow right now. Have you disregarded a boundary or broken a promise? Guilt has made you aware of a potential ways you have given injury and show you how to redress and transgression. When you sincerely admit you're wrong and begin the process to fix it, this is an act of accountability, responsibility, and liberation. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is huge. And now I see why he's got this second card. This is huge because I hear myself in that my past self. I am not that person anymore. I used to be guilty about a lot of things. You know why? Because I was lying and manipulating and doing things I shouldn't have been doing. And when I transformed my life over to spirit and let spirit guide my life, not me, and be just walking in absolute truth, then I had to go back and correct my wrongs. I had to correct my wrongs. Sometimes it was about money. Sometimes it was about things I said. Some things about what I did. And I needed to do some full circling to correct those wrongs. And I had to turn around, and this is your current card, guys. This is your current energy card for the 2nd through the 8th, is ask for forgiveness. Now, this may not be you, but everybody either feels guilty about something. And this is what we need to do. We need to ask for forgiveness. And we might be, because we probably did a wrong. And when we create, what I found out when we did this, that I was so terrified to go in front of that person and tell them, I really wronged you and I'm really, really sorry. And you don't have to accept my apology, but I needed to ask for forgiveness. I don't remember one person saying, no, I don't forgive you. In fact, when I owned my responsibility and owned what I was accountable for, it was like a light was coming open and a chain was coming off at the same time. I'm not joking, you guys. And every single person that I went to and I wronged and I corrected it, they have come to me and actually have come back in my circle. Some of them just stay at the edge. They're watching, they're seeing, did she really transform herself? And now some of them are seeing, yes, they did, and they come with open arms. Forgiveness is huge. Some forgiveness you don't want to. My sexual abuser, you know what? I forgave him, but that's their accountability if they want to forgive themselves. Excuse me. My job is to ask for forgiveness for the things I've done wrong. That's it. If somebody wants to come to me to ask for forgiveness, that's for their walk. That's for their journey. However, whatever is guilty in your mind, this is talking about you, and that you just need to ask for forgiveness. It will unchain you completely. It really, really will. And it'll bring you to a new level of self. You'll raise your spiritual self. You'll raise your spiritual awareness. You'll raise your integrity. You will begin to honor yourself even more, and you will begin to honor divine for allowing that forgiveness to happen. I even forgave my brother's murderer. Talk about being a hard one. But that person was high on drugs so much that they caused the crime. But would they have done it if they were off drugs? Probably not. Probably not. Not saying that they wouldn't, but I'm just saying most likely not. But they have to live with that the rest of their lives. They're in their own prison, their mind. Okay? And some people just are never going to be fixed. You know, there is some mental illness out there. Working in criminal justice or studying criminal justice, and one of our professors, even who worked the prisons for many, many years as a psychologist, said you'll never be able to fix them. Some people cannot be fixed. Anyway, so future energy, perception. Guilty is the perception of you for what you've done wrong. If it created harm, that's a perception that you want to correct. If the other person, you might think it's a huge, huge thing, and the other person might think it is small, but because you're carrying that guilt, you need to release that. Okay, I'm going to give you a story here as we go. When I was a junior in high school, we had a new science teacher that was an intern. Cutie, real cutie, you know. And I was stupid and naive and young and also very broken, thinking that, oh, I could like a teacher and he's going to like me and I'm just going to be, you know, teacher's pet kind of a thing. And I joined the science group. I enjoyed the science group and that kind of thing anyway. But I was always being a little sarcastic, little, you know, trying to get attention, blah, 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 blah. So come senior year, I am in his class and I'm even being more so. This is his first year of teaching. And I gave him the hardest time in that year ever. This is the next card. I gave him the hardest time ever for his first time teaching. He probably went home and thought, oh my gosh, I wish I could just get rid of this student. But over the years, I knew it was the wrong thing to do. And I felt really bad because some of it was very sarcastic. And lo and behold, about 3 or 4 years ago, full circles started happening for me that I could go fix my wrongs, right? And I thought maybe he is on Facebook. And so what I did was I tried to find him on Facebook. It was very easy because, boom, there he was. Divine opened that door and said there. And I sent him a message and apologized for being such a rude, sarcastic little, and I told him why I was doing it. And, you know, to me, that was huge because that is not the way to treat people. That is not the way to do things. And I knew that over the years. And he wrote back and he sort of chuckled and said, "Oh, don't worry about it. That's fine." You know, it was a good teaching lesson. And I didn't even think about it for these years. However, it was laying on my heart very heavy. So I needed to be the one to go and correct it. And it was really, really nice because he shared a little bit about his life now and shared about what is going on with his life. And it was fine. He goes, reach out if you ever want to say hi again. And I've done that. It's like that 3 or 4 years ago, full circle started to happen where I could correct my wrongs. And each person I corrected my wrong with actually became very light. And I'm still correcting some of my wrongs because remember, this has been years that I was that way. I was not a good person. I was a good person at heart, but I was doing things for me in manipulative ways to either survive because I was broke or poor or whatever at that time, or I was just being selfish because my core was still broken. My core foundation was still broken and it was earthly and I wasn't thinking spiritually. So anyway, forgiveness, but it is the perception of both parties. You might think it is a really big thing. Somebody might think it's really small. You might think it's really small. Somebody comes and asks for forgiveness, but it was a very big thing to them. So don't minimize somebody's asking for forgiveness or you asking for forgiveness. You know, it definitely is something. You have the first card out is the World. This is an opportunity to get everything that you want and desire what you want, to release that guilt. We're in the waning moon, releasing, getting rid of all that ugly garbage. This is the time to do that. We are being judged. Now, this is a time for you to be able to correct something that ended or whatever it was. And if the person is passed on, they've already forgiven you. If it was something you did, or if they have passed on and you need to ask for forgiveness, ask it. They can hear you. They can hear you. So definitely, but we want to not be judged by the earth, but by the spirit. And when we forgive whatever from our guilt, we definitely will be raised in our spirit and our soul. Our soul will begin to shine. Our spirit will begin to shine. And this is a new thing for somebody. This is definitely new. This is hard. This is not easy. It is a lesson to be learned. This is something that we do need to be learned, but know that spirit and divine are right there with you. Oh my gosh, this is just plowing out. So whatever it is you're feeling guilty about, now is the time to release it. Because you have the strength to do it. You're being offered to do it. It is time to do it. Time to come full circle, apologize, or whatever it is that you need to do. And this is definitely your lesson at this moment. Okay. And it is, somebody doesn't have their ducks in a row. This is hard work. This is not easy. This takes courage. This takes courage, and the courage that you get and the strength that you get is going to come from spirit and not the earth. Ask for the spirit. Ask spirit for the courage, the strength to be able to do this. It's best to do it in person. Thank you. So it's best to do in person, but if you cannot, do it in a letter. Don't do a text. Do it in a letter, something that they can actually print out and hold and be happy for. Texting is the worst way to communicate. If you text, I'm going to spank your butt. Texting is, do not ask for forgiveness in a text. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. And if somebody keeps saying they're sorry, I'm sorry, that's bullshit. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Really, it is. Because if they were really sorry, they wouldn't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Okay, they have to say, I'm sorry, and not do it again. Okay, definitely. So somebody will have a really hard time with this. Somebody's going to feel like they can't do it. Somebody feels like, oh my gosh, if I do it, and what happens, and then they still hate me, or what if they don't want to accept my forgiveness? Then you just walk away and say, I just had to do this for me. And you do it in loving kindness. This is a nurturing time. This is a time of nurturing yourself, of healing. Okay, this is a time to learn a new lesson to raise yourself to a higher self. All right, this is a nurturing time. This is a time to say, I love myself enough to be able to ask for forgiveness. Now, guilty, let me talk about guilty a little bit, though. Guilty is something that you either did that made a person feel bad. So, but here's the thing, though. A person can't make me feel bad. I allow myself to feel bad. A person cannot hurt me. I allow somebody to hurt me. Okay? Because I have to know who I am, and I have to love who I am. And that's all that matters. So whatever somebody says or whatever somebody does, and they're trying to hurt me, I know myself better enough to say, well, you know, if you're trying to hurt me, it doesn't. And it may sound cold, but I know myself. Okay? And I, being an empath, I already feel your energies. I know where you're coming from. And you're just speaking out of hurt because of something that's broken down below here. But you got to be strong and have courage to do it. And the thing is, you've got that in you because the Spirit gives you that. Divine gives you that. You just have to pull it out. All right? All right. And Divine's with you because Divine is here. High Priestess is definitely. Boy, and she is facing definitely. Yeah. Okay. We have the Queen of Pentacles, definitely about the Earth. Definitely, yeah, this is definitely an Earth process, definitely guilt. Because, yeah. All right. All right, Scorpios, let's see if there's anything else Divine wants to say. And I'm going to go to love and relationships next, because I could beat this to a dead horse. I really could. But it's very simple. You know what you're guilty of. Everybody knows what they're guilty of. I'm still guilty of a few things that I am still facing and full circling and correcting. And each time I do it, I thank the Lord for allowing me to have the strength and the courage to be able to do it and face that. I do it, try to do it in person. I face that person and say, I'm sorry, so that they can physically see me, that I am truly changed. I am truly transformed, and I am very sorry. And that will never happen again. Trust me, that will never happen again, because I knew that was a downward spiral. I knew it, but I just kept doing it. I just kept doing it, So anyway, so we have the Nine of Swords. Can't sleep, can't eat, can't have nightmares. You keep bringing it up. Triggers keep bringing it up. Whatever it is, it keeps coming up over and over, and it's in the forefront. It may not be in the forefront all the time, but it is. You know what? And it's almost finished, so give those nightmares a break and just go do what you need to do. And then we have the Page of Cups. A newness, a curiosity of if it's going to really work, if it's really going to happen, if it's really going to, you know, is that person really going to forgive me? It doesn't matter. This is for you to release a chain and to lift yourself to a higher self. All right. Is there anything else, Divine? All right. So let's go to love and relationships. Now, this might be for somebody who's single. Maybe they're starting to date. Maybe they're not even dating, but maybe somebody's going to be coming to you. So this might be a message for you. This might be somebody who is married. This might be somebody who is starting to date and going on to the next level. Somebody might have just got proposed to, and maybe this is for you. The High Lord of Gratitude and Service. Selflessness. Selflessness. selflessness, your future energy, perception. So selflessness, humility, and conscious actions. And it's the number 2. It's about bringing and bonding and bringing a bond closer. So when you're bringing this bond closer, we are selfless. We are thinking of that other person's perception and perspective before ours. So you're thinking about, okay, what is your goals? What do you plan to do? What do you like? What do you don't like? What ticks you off? What is it that you love? What kind of way makes you feel loved? Is it affirmation? Is it gifts? What is it? And it's learning about that conscious action that you can take that hits their subconscious when you do the action. It brings that bond even closer. That is why men physically bond with women, because that is their way that they feel very connected and loved. But if you're dating, you cannot do that intimate action because you don't want to get to that point unless you're really committed, because that's a soul tie. You're creating a soul tie that maybe you don't want to be tied to. So, I mean, a lot of people are having children that should not have even been soul tied to that person, and now it's a mess. Okay, so this is about the consciousness, and it's also about humility. Let's see which one was first. That one, definitely. Okay, so you want to, when we take this selfless action, that means that we are putting ourselves second, which is humility. We're being, I'm not saying Hubert. What is it? I can't even think. We're humbling ourselves. Thank you. I couldn't even think of it. Thank you. So we're humbling ourselves. So it's time to take action. Okay, it's time to really look selfless. Find out what their perspective is. You know how much easier relationships will be and how much easier it will be to communicate? Because when you start talking about something they love, if you're in a really grumpy mode or whatever, talk about something they love and watch their attitude and their transformation change. It's like the younger generation. Maybe they're stressed about something, but they love playing games. Start talking about a game that they love to play, and all of a sudden their attitude and things change. It's amazing. We can change somebody's attitude from being grumpy and all that kind of stuff to more when we start talking about things of love and joy. Okay? Stop putting yourself first. Oh, what about me? What about me? It'll come. If you find their perspective, they find yours. It'll come even twice, tenfold. Trust me. All right? So Scorpios, that's your reading for this week. I hope you will like that button. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Please, if you like this or if you this resonated with somebody else, share. Please share. This is all about sharing, guys. This is all about moving it to the person that it needs to be heard, or somebody who hears it. How does that ever go? And then also to subscribe and hit the button, and you will be notified every time I am on or do an upload. Please subscribe. Smash that button. All right. And I will see you next week on the 9th, live again. Live from whatever that show is. Saturday night. Anyway. Thank you guys. You guys have a great week. Walk in absolute truth and love. Take care.